You're watching BBN Tonight on your official UK sports station, LEX 18. Presented by Central Bank, the official bank of UK athletics.
Welcome back to BBN Tonight. Among the new faces for the Kentucky football coaching staff for the upcoming season is Jemal Singleton, who will oversee the running backs and special teams. Keith talked to him about his hopes for 2021.
Well, Coach Singleton, the first thing we got to ask you about, there was a post that you put up that had us a little bit confused, so I'm going to get you to answer it for me. But first, I want you to take a look at the post that I'm talking about.
Let's go to work.
All right, we don't know what that was, but we love it around here. What was that?
Absolutely. Come on. That's the hip hop horn. That's the get ready. Let's get going. You get a little bam, 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 bam when you're rolling around. So it's kind of been a trademark I've used for a couple of years. Guys know when they hear that, I'm probably coming around the corner.
And that's what we wanted to get you to recreate it for. So you already did that. I think, they've been using the Yahtzee whenever they get a recruit around here. I think it needs to change to that.
Sounds good.
And not only that, we're already doing it around here. We got in trouble with the boss because he didn't know what we were doing, because when big news breaks, we were doing that sound. Talk about why you decided to step back from the NFL game and come back to the college game.
Well, I mean, I guess I wouldn't look at it as a step back. I mean, it's an awesome place. I mean, you got a chance to work with young men and help them develop and grow. And that's part of it. I think I've said before, I'm a college coach at heart. I think the recruiting part and building the relationships with families and young men and helping them develop is something that's important to me and that I'm passionate about. I think really the NFL is now made me a better college coach. I've got some, experience with the combine and, pro days and just the game at the NFL level alone. So I think it was a great opportunity. Coming down here to Lexington with Mark and the rest of the staff and Brad White, a guy that I knew, and just wanted to be a part of something I thought that is really good.
You've probably had a little more time now since the last time we were able to talk to you, just to take a look at that running back room. What gets you excited about seeing these guys that you're going to be coaching?
Well, I like the fact that there's some different skill sets in the room. I think that's always important, that you can have some guys that can do some different things, and not everybody's just a one-trick pony. So I think it's really good to, with Chris coming back and the things that he's been able to do already. You got Smoke, and then even some of the other guys that maybe haven't played as much are just looking for their breakout moment. So just the fact that the room is solid from top to bottom, I can't wait to start working with the guys.
C-Rod's been so much fun for us to watch because he's a guy you just cannot stop behind the line of scrimmage.
And that's one thing that definitely shows up on tape is the amount of negative yardage runs that he has is very minimal. And to me, I think that's a true test of a really good back is how often are you gaining yards? 2nd and 10 beats 2nd and 12 any day of the week.
You had some freshmen that, going in and out to their sophomore year who got their chance to get a little bit of playing time, like a Juton McLean, a Travis Tisdale. What do you see out of those guys as they start making improvement into year 2?
Their sample size is still kind of small when you look at the amount of actual game reps that they've had. And that's the important part, is the type of game reps. And they've gotten some experience. So I'm looking forward this spring to really kind of hone in and see exactly what they bring to the table, kind of the type of players that they are and where they can kind of fit in the mix of things. So it's exciting in that regard that there are some guys that they're not rookies, as I say. They're young guys, but they have gotten some playing time, and now it's a chance to see them just grow and develop and become better players now that they've been around for a little while.
Coach Stoops talked about wanting to do more outside run zone kind of runs. You've kind of probably seen that in the NFL. How big would that help this Kentucky team?
Well, I think the wide zone game is a part that every NFL team runs wide zone. I've been pretty much my whole career been a part of wide zone runs, even starting back at Air Force when we were doing some things with Troy Calhoun, who came from the Houston Texans at that time. So it's a big part. And I think what it does is it lends itself to the play action game. And there's just a lot of things that you can build off it. Now, there's some unique techniques and skill sets that you got to have to be able to run it. And I think the room definitely has those. And I'm really just kind of looking forward to installing it, getting into the fundamentals and the details of it, and really just kind of moving forward with doing something that maybe these guys haven't done a whole lot. So they haven't been molded in one direction or another. I can just come in and kind of feel like I can mold the clay a little bit myself.
Coach, I hate to leave you with very little time to talk about it. Only have about 30, 40 seconds, but you're also a special teams coach. How do you approach that as well?
Well, it's the same thing. I mean, you go and you evaluate the talent that you have, and then you try to put that talent in places where they can be successful. And whether it's the kicking game, the return game, any of that stuff, it really all fits the same. It's still football. It's a big part of all the situational football that you play. But to get those guys together, see who's doing what, and really just emphasize to the players how important special teams is. If you want to play in the NFL, you're going to play special teams. And I think that's one of the messages that I'll be passing along to each and every one of those guys.
Coach Singleton, again, welcome into Lexington and welcome on to your first visit on BBN Tonight. Look forward to talking to you again soon.
Yes, sir. Bah, 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 bah.
I have no words. It's hilarious. In our next segment on BBN Tonight, we'll bring you another chat with a basketball cat. Hear from Winchester native Brennan Canada after the break.